Think back to when you were 10 years old. While other kids were occupied with games or toys, you were likely occupied with logistics. Maybe you were making sure the doors were locked, watching the clock to see when the adults would be home, or navigating the moods of the people around you to keep the peace. People look at you today and call you reliable. They see someone who is composed, responsible, and always has a plan. But let's talk about what that reliability actually is. It isn't a personality trait you were born with, it's a survival mechanism. You didn't mature early. You were forced to skip the stage of life where you were allowed to be protected. You didn't learn to be responsible. You learned that if you didn't handle things, they wouldn't get handled. In the next few minutes, we're going to look at the hidden glitch in the adult brain of a child who grew up too fast. I'm going to show you why your pride in handling everything yourself is actually a sign of deep internal exhaustion, and why your inability to relax is the shadow of a childhood where safety was never guaranteed. When a child is forced to take on adult responsibilities, whether that's physical chores or the emotional weight of a parent's stress, something in the brain fundamentally shifts. You become hyper-aware of your environment. You become an expert at reading the temperature of a room before you even step into it. This creates a specific kind of psychological sincerity gap. You grew up feeling like an adult in a child's body, and now, as an actual adult, you often feel like you're just a tired child performing a role. Because there was no one there to consistently supervise your emotions or offer you a safety net, you did the only logical thing. You became your own safety net. Psychologically, this is known as parentification. It wires your brain to believe that your value is tied directly to your utility. If you aren't being useful, if you aren't solving a problem, or if you aren't the strong one, you feel a deep sense of guilt. You aren't functioning without complaints because you're a superhero. You're doing it because in your early world, your needs were seen as an inconvenience. But wait, let's look at how this shows up in your life today. People probably call you hyper-independent. They admire how you never ask for help. But here's the reality. Hyper-independence is just a trauma response in a fancy suit. Think about it. Why is the idea of asking for help so terrifying to you? It's because in your formative years, relying on someone else usually led to disappointment or more work for you. You learned that depending on others was synonymous with losing control. So now you build a fortress. You do it all. You fix the house, you manage the crisis at work, and you carry the emotional weight of your entire social circle. But the same wall that keeps you safe from disappointment also keeps you isolated from true connection. You've become so good at being the pillar for everyone else that you've forgotten how to let anyone be a pillar for you. It's a self-reliance born from absence, and it is slowly burning you out. The world loves the person you've become because you make everyone else's life easier. But they don't see the cost. They don't see the chronic alertness. That feeling that you can never truly turn your brain off because something might go wrong the moment you stop watching. This is the psychological tax of growing up too fast. You have a master of crisis brain but a beginner of joy heart. You find it easy to manage a disaster, but you find it incredibly difficult to just be, to rest, without feeling like you're doing something wrong, to play without feeling like it's a waste of time. Your inner child didn't get to play. They had to perform. And now, that same child is still inside you, terrified that if they stop performing, everything will fall apart. So, how do we fix the mental glitch? It starts with a radical realization. Your worth is not a paycheck for your productivity. The switch is moving from performance to permission. For decades, you have given yourself permission to exist only when you are being useful. The satisfaction you're looking for won't come from completing another task. It comes from the moment you realize that the protection you were never given as a child is something you can finally give yourself. You can put the shield down. You aren't failing anyone by having a limit. You are finally allowing yourself to be the person you were always meant to be before the world told you to grow up. You've spent your whole life being the adult in the room. You've been the reliable one for far too long. Maybe it's time to stop being strong and start being human. If this hit a nerve and you're ready to stop just surviving and start actually living, subscribe. We're going deeper into the psychology of why we do what we do. It's time to stop carrying the world on your shoulders.